So today we're going to be making something called a trim max salad, and I'm going to be getting some of these items out of my garden this morning, fresh. I thought you'd like to join me, and then we'll get started and I'll show you how we put this salad together. Now, I have a super busy day, so I'm going to kind of prep it and just show you how I'm doing things, and then tonight I'll be actually putting the salad together. So I've got a few green beans. I'm going to go ahead and pick some of those fresh. Even though the salad doesn't call for it, I really like putting some lightly cooked green beans on top of my salad. I just think they come out super good. So let me set you up here, and I'm just going to start picking some things for tonight's salad. First thing I do when I take my vegetables out of the garden is that I wash them in a sink full of water, and I actually put about maybe a cap full of vinegar in the water. I let that water fill up. It's cold water. We've got all kinds of good things. We've got lettuce, we've got green beans, we've got some cucumbers, some tomatoes. Now I do have some, so let me wash these. I just want to kind of move them around a little bit. Now all I'm going to do is put them back in the colander. So this is the rule on my veggies. I rinse them till the water comes clean. So sometimes that's rinsing them for, a couple of times. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 times. It just depends on how dirty the vegetables are. So as you can see, I've got some really nice green beans. So I've got my vegetables for my salad all clean. Now I do have a little bit more lettuce in the refrigerator. I'm going to just move these out of the way, and that way they can dry on their own at their own pace, and we can get started on our salad. So today we're going to be making something called a trim max salad. This is considered an S meal, and I get that from my Trim Healthy Starter book. It has about 50 really good recipes in here. I've made most of them, and I can attest they're really tasty. So this one, you can use ground beef. I used ground turkey because that's what I had. And I'm trying to use more turkey instead of ground beef anyway. I'm trying to cut back on so much red meat. So this particular salad, I got up early this morning because I have to leave in a little bit, and then after I get home, I got my grandkids here again today. It's Thursday, so I have an extra little guest coming. So there's gonna be 4 kids. We're all gonna be swimming and having a lot of fun. So I went ahead and cooked my turkey up this morning. Now, all I did was I took some ground turkey. I cooked it just over a nice hot fire on the stove top. I added some beef broth to it, about 1/4 of a cup. I cooked the turkey first, then I added the beef broth. I added 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, a teaspoon of paprika, and just a little bit of salt and pepper. So this has been cooling because this is going to be one of the layers that we're going to put on our salad later. So I thought the easiest way to do this today is that I wanted to have everything prepped and ready to go, just have it all set up in my refrigerator. So all we had to do was eat it tonight. I'll heat up the meat tonight, but other than that, everything else is going to be done. And this smells so good. I think this was a really good idea to make this tonight because it smells delicious. So I have a little bit more lettuce from the refrigerator that I just want to cut up and get prepared for tonight. And then I'm also going to be making up my salad dressing. So I'm going to put this whole recipe on my description. If you are interested in making this particular salad, this is what the final product looks like. And like I said, I do a lot of prepping just because of my lifestyle. I'm older, but I have a super busy life. And so this is how we're gonna do it today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of my lettuce done. I'm gonna kind of pre-package everything and I'll show you how I get it ready for tonight. And then tonight we're gonna have an amazing dinner. So my meat is cool enough. All I'm gonna do is just put a piece of plastic on this. And I'm gonna stick this in the refrigerator, and then tonight I'm gonna heat it up before I make my salad. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour this Thousand Island dressing into a pourable container, and I'll be right back. Now, I always save my leftover containers so that I have them for things like this. You don't have to waste your good dishes, and you're helping the environment as well. I've got that ready for tonight's dinner. Now, I had a few green beans left over from last night, so I am just gonna put these in a bag here. And tonight I'm just going to cook these for about 5 minutes. It won't take long. So I'm gonna actually leave those in a bag, fresh, in the refrigerator. And those will just take a few minutes. The rest of our salad we're gonna prep. So we're gonna start off by prepping our lettuce. And I just kind of inspect it just to make sure it's all in good shape. And I usually cut my lettuce. I know a lot of people, they prefer to tear it and all that stuff, but I cut my lettuce. This is gonna be the base of my salad. So the lettuce is only gonna be one part of our salad. This is gonna be enough for 2 salads. And some of these I'm gonna mix up a little because I've got quite a bit. This is a cucumber I just picked out of my garden. We're gonna put that to one side. And we're gonna do some tomatoes. Now these tomatoes, I'm just gonna take the tops off of them. I'm not going to be cutting them in half or anything like that. They're super sweet, so we don't have to worry about them not being sweet enough for our salad. Now I am gonna put some of these yellow tomatoes over here. These I'm probably gonna cut in half just because they are so big. So I actually decided I'm gonna clean the green beans and put them in there, and all I'm gonna have to do is throw them in some boiling water tonight, because I do have to cut some of these ends off. Now I wanna make a note that these green beans aren't part of the recipe for the salad, but it's important to look in your starter book and just make sure that you're eating non-starchy vegetables. This is just something I like to put in my salad because I grow these fresh in the summer. So, you know, if you don't want them, obviously don't put them in. I've also got some green onions. Now, these I'm gonna probably put in a little bit of plastic and just set them on top because they're gonna affect the smell of this whole, little salad bar thing I'm doing tonight. So this is tonight's dinner, all prepped, all done. So I've got my meat mixture. This is some ground turkey. I've got some cooked onions that I put in mine. They say to do it separately, but it's only because you're gonna be layering. But I've got some plain raw white onions that I actually like to layer my salad with. So I've got lettuce, I've got fresh tomatoes and cucumbers, I've got green tops to the onions, I've got green beans. Now these are some vegetables that I cooked last night on the grill. I've got some grilled zucchini and some more some more broccoli and green beans, and then my homemade Thousand Island dressing. So they say to mix this and you're gonna layer it and you're gonna put some pickles on it. I've got some dill pickles that are all sliced that I'll also be putting on it. That is dinner. Everything's done, everything's prepped. All we have to do is make up our own individual salads. Great meal for a busy day. Whether you are prepping for weight loss or you're prepping because you have a busy schedule or you're just prepping for convenience, there are so many things that you can do to make it easier to stay on a diet. So I have a day like no other day, and I've been going since early this morning just trying to get everything ready because I know once the kids leave, I'm just so tired. It's hard for me to really do anything. So I hope that this is helpful. I hope you'll consider prepping. If it's not something you've done in the past, it can make a big difference. Now, I've never had this salad before, this trim mac salad, but I am really anxious to try it. The meat is cooked different than a taco salad with the Worcestershire sauce and the paprika and everything. So I'm gonna put the recipe in the description below. I had this on my menu plan. This is part of our first week challenge. This is the salad that my husband and I are gonna have tonight. And anyway, I hope this helps you. I hope your first week is going great on this new challenge. And if you're not part of the challenge, I hope you'll join us. And you know, it goes through December 31st, 2025, and it's whatever amount of weight you want to lose. My goal is 30 more pounds, and I'm hoping that that will be it for me. So thanks so much for joining me today. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.